Positioning exercise is undoubtedly one of the most efficient football exercises to become a good in the modern game. Why? Football games now are fast-paced and keeping the ball in harder than ever before. This is why you have to be good at knowing what to do before you receive the ball, where your teammates are in the field, where the spaces in the field are, where your opponents are. Make quick and correct decisions once you get the ball.
The possession is a football exercise that can be practiced in training. To perform it, you need two teams of at least 2/3 players each, and it can be played with as many as you want. These two teams will play in an area without goals, and the objective of the exercise is simply to keep the ball from the opponent's team as long as possible. Normally, the smaller the area or the more players in the assigned area, the less space there will be to play, and thus the harder it will be to keep the ball. The possession soccer drill is actually very simple to understand and play. However, the important thing is how you perform the exercise. It has to be played the right way to be able to get the benefits of the exercise and improve your football game. You shouldn't try to keep the ball at any means necessary. However, it should be kept following football's best practices. These are: play the ball fast when the situation requires it. Play the ball slow or keep it when the situation requires it. Move to the empty spaces. Keep the ball as short as possible to make the opposing football team run. Keep your head up, as try to know what to do before the ball comes to you.
How to do a possession? You have to decide how you want to play your possession drill. You can play a classic one or focus on different aspects of the game that we will mention after, like tactical improvement, technique and touch improvement, dribbling improvement, defending improvement. In Alicante Football Academy, we always like to separate and work in our players with these types of possession soccer trainings. In this version of the possession exercise, the goal is to keep the ball from your opponent by using your field positioning as your tool. You have to create a big playing area and divide this area into smaller areas, where only 2 players of each team will play, without the ability to move out of these areas. So in simple words, it is a large possession game played within small mini possessions. The reason why this version of soccer drill will improve your tactical game is because it forces you to stay in a certain part of the field, your square, without following the ball, and thus creating more spaces and avoiding an accumulation of players in a small area surrounding the ball. It will force you to stay away from your marker in the small box and find the necessary spaces to be able to receive the ball. In this version of the possession drill, the goal is to keep the ball from your opponent by playing it very fast and making the run behind the ball. You have to create a playing area, and the only difference is that you only have one touch. You have to create a playing area, and the only difference is that you only have one touch. If you take more, the other team will be given the ball to start the play again. You will need to be constantly moving and finding spaces so your teammates can find you with one touch. And while you are doing this, you will need to think where you will play when you receive it. Also, make sure that you always have the right body position to be able to play it to another teammate fast, as your pass will have to be accurate and quick if you want to avoid the opposition team stopping it. In this version of the possession drill, the goal is to keep the ball from your opponent for a certain amount of passes and then dribble in a 1v1 situation to get a point. Using the classic possession setup and playing space, you have to add 2 sections in both sides of the area. Then, when a team reaches a certain minimum number of touches on the ball, like 10 for example, a teammate has to make a run in one of the 2 side areas, and one player from the opposing team can follow him. Once your teammate receives the ball, we have a 1v1 situation in this channel area, and your teammate has to win the 1v1 and dribble past the opponent to reach the other side of the channel, like doing a touchdown. This will be a point for your team. added to the parts of the game that the classic possession soccer drills improves. You will improve your attacking runs towards the space, as well as your final pass. Then, once you receive the ball, you will be able to work on your 1v1 skills. In this version of the possession drill, the goal is to keep the ball from your opponent and make sure you can stay away from your defender, or stay on top of your attacker, by practicing your defending and man-marking skills. You have to set up the classic possession game version, but also assign one player of your team to another of the opposing team. Then, only these two players can defend and tackle each other. No one else can. Vice versa, as the defender, you have to make sure that you follow your attacker and that he doesn't receive the ball. But doing so, you also have to make sure you look at the ball too, not just follow your attacker mindlessly. This will add a hyper-defensive focus on your game and make you switch quickly from this mindset to an attacking one once your team gets the ball again.
Possession football exercise is great because it teaches you to keep the ball efficiently. A successful possession soccer drill should look simple, fast-paced and efficient, without any dribbling situation, with lots of players fighting off the ball. This drill has proven track record with Spanish teams, as they practice this every day and they always seem to dominate the control of the possession at the highest level games. In Alicante Football Academy, we teach our players this exercise weekly and improve all the aspects of the game. As we find you a team, go to the trials and sign a pro contract in Spain.
We have spots open for the season. Join the Alicante Football Academy today.